Hello everybody, it is Tom, and we are back for what is probably going to be a short video, but now that I've said that, it'll probably be like 25 minutes long, because that's just how we roll here, so. So I'm at a slightly different angle, because of the angle of the light. So, you can not only see, well, you can see less of my bookshelf and more of my dresser, and the very cool queer and trans Chicago picture that my friend Vicky got for me. So, yes, enjoy. Anyway, so we are here because today, Netflix dropped a 7-minute video of some of the cast members of Heartstopper reacting to some of, what did they say, the most iconic moments from Season 1. Now, whether you agree that these are the most iconic moments or not, feel free to say your most iconic moments from Season 1 in the comments. But yeah, a lot of these, whether you think they're iconic or not, they're definitely memorable scenes. So we're going to watch it, we're going to talk about it. You may think it's strange that people are beeping very loudly outside my window when I'm trying to talk, but it's not strange at all. It happens all the time. You may think it is strange to be reacting to a reaction, but that's what we're doing. I don't know what to tell you. So, okay, earbuds in. Let's go.
I'm not like homophobic.
I'm an ally.
So we start off with the this one I definitely think is iconic, at least memeable, memorable and memeable. Is that moment from Imogen. I'm not like homophobic. I'm an ally.
No, it's just the dancing.
Oh no, this is the dancing.
Why you do this to him?
So we have poor Will Gao, reacting to his own fascinating dance moves.
Can't watch. That's talent when you see it.
Oh, I can, and this isn't it.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah, I feel like I would also not be able to watch myself dance on video because, well, for one thing, I'm very bad at dancing. Oh God, what's the light doing? What's the light doing? Suddenly it looks like an apocalypse. All right, hold on. Now it's just very dark. Now it's just I just have the light of my webcam. Anyway, okay. So apparently my west-facing windows are just determined to destroy my lighting. So you're gonna have to deal with like multiple shades of light on my face. That's just how it's gonna go. So hopefully that does not disturb you. If it does, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah,
I remember I actually hit you in that take.
Every take, it was like, I finished the dance.
The hit would go.
Bang!
Yeah, that checks out. I could definitely see. Oh my God, it's so dark now. I'm so dark. Okay, hold on. This is fine. This is fine. What was I saying? So, it'll come back to me. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I can definitely believe that Yasmin would just smack the crap out of Will's face with a pillow. That seems in character. I don't know her personally, but it's just the vibe I get that she would enjoy doing that.
I'm not like homophobic. I'm an ally.
Congratulations. We thank you for your service.
I love how everyone mouths along with that part. Just you can't help it. You have to.
The face.
The eyes.
Joe does an excellent impression of Imogen's face in that exact moment.
I think we all knew that this would be a meme.
You were correct. It was born to be a meme.
She tries to be an ally, which I love.
She does try. I mean, I think it's important to remember that Imogen, for all that she's a bit oh my God, the light. We're back. It's the apocalypse again. I volunteer as tribute. Should I get up again and adjust the curtains? I think we all know the answer. All right, hold on. There. That's perfect. Okay, all right. Nobody move, nobody breathe. We're fine, we're good. What was I saying? Yeah, so Imogen's an ally. I think I was gonna say that, Imogen she's a good-hearted person. Like, she means well. She really does consider herself an ally, even though some of the things that she does are a bit questionable.
Didn't we recreate the scene on TikTok, Bash, and it got like 20 million views or something stupid like that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not like homophobic. I'm an ally.
Yes, I remember. Where were you when Joe and Bash recreated this TikTok? I don't know where. I was probably in my home, looking at my phone because that's where I am much of the time.
Hi.
My only real memory of it was being a little bit annoyed because I kind of had this dream that, you know, I would look kind of cool, like in the rain, and, you know, my hair would be very kind of Ryan Gosling-y in The Notebook. And yet, it sort of looks like I've got sort of spider legs on my, I've got like 3 strands of wet hair.
No, Kit, you are too hard on yourself. You do not look, they do not look anything like spider legs. They are just wet strands of hair. Very Ryan Gosling-y. Do not even concern yourself.
As an
It wasn't
outsider,
quite as sexy as
can I
looked.
just aggressively disagree with you not achieving the Ryan Gosling Notebook look?
Stop it.
It's
I'm
true.
I'm going to be squeezing his knee because he's just flirting with me all day.
Yeah, I do love me some good Kit Bash flirting. Always good to see.
Whoa.
Thank you, Bash.
Wow.
Joe just like, wow. Yeah, Joe, maybe you should leave them alone for a bit.
You don't care about me at all.
Well, it's not like anyone else is going to want to go out with you, is it?
I question their inclusion of this scene, to be honest with you. Like, it is an important scene, but at the same time, like, it's an assault. It's an assault. I assume that the reason they put this in there was because, like, so Bash can actually respond to a scene that he is in, and this is one of the most, like, important scenes, or most memorable in a bad way. But yeah, I find it very uncomfortable to watch this scene, as do most people. So I would imagine watching it for these 3 is all. But maybe they can distance themselves because they're actors. I don't know.
I mean, I want to punch him, and it's my face.
And that is why Bash is the president of the Ben Hope Hate Club. Which, for those of you who were not following Bash back then, he actually got banned from. Was it TikTok or Instagram? One of those two. His account was blocked as a hate account because he was constantly bashing, Ben Hope, and he had to like reach out to the people at TikTok or Instagram or whatever it was, and like explain to them like, yeah, I'm an actor. I play this character. He's a piece of crap, and that's why we hate him. And finally, his account was restored. But I was very entertained by that story. So Pal's hand is so limp. Like when she picks it up, it's just like, he's just very relaxed. He's very relaxed with her.
Ooh, what was she gonna say? You've got the wrong team's face paint on.
It's Charlie's fault. Why are you
Oh my
leading us
God.
on like that?
What is wrong with you guys?
I love how they're reacting to the scene like they have no idea what's gonna happen.
I love that. Was like one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, I agree that it's a very important scene because I think it's the first time that Tao in the show sees Elle in that way. Because before then, he's just completely oblivious to everything, even when Darcy is being ridiculously obvious at the Milkshake Cafe. And like he just has no idea. But that seems to be the first time that he looks at Elle in a different way. So I agree, that is an iconic scene.
Charlie's my boyfriend.
Now this scene, hands down, I don't know anyone who disagrees that this is an iconic scene.
Sorry if I ever made you feel like you couldn't tell me that.
That's my favourite scene in the show.
It's so warm as well. Like, every time I watch that, I smile.
Smile and tears in my eyes every time.
It was a really, really lovely scene to make, and I felt that it was a very important scene to make. And I think that coming out is an extraordinarily important moment for, you know, a lot of people, and therefore something that, you know, you want to do justice and you want to get right.
I think it's impressive that Kit is able to talk about how important coming out is for people without any bitterness, given how his coming out to the world went. So I have to give him props for not being really bitter about that, because I mean, maybe he is, but he's not showing it. He's being very classy, which I, at that age, was definitely not.
I had to watch the scene so many times now that you continue to pick yourself apart, but it's a lovely scene.
That's a shame. Like, I completely understand because I would be the same way, but it's a shame that, like, Kit can watch this scene and pick it apart, whereas I watch this scene, and I think a lot of people watch this scene and just see a stellar performance. Like, he is such an excellent actor, and this scene really showcases it.
I was confused and surprised and...
Yeah, and again, talking again about, this is another scene where Kit's delivery is just spot on. Like, he's just a great actor. He's just a very, very good actor.
Like, honestly, I'm having a proper full-on gay crisis. The full-on gay crisis is a line that I was so confused about how to play. I had no idea how to say it. It's quite funny, really. It's a really funny line. And I didn't feel like the way that we were playing the scene was very funny.
That is very fair, because, like, when you read that line, the gay crisis line in the comics, it is hilarious. And, like, this scene in the show is very serious. So I think it's impressive that Kit managed to deliver this line in a way that matched the mood of the scene and matched the feelings that Nick was having at that time, while still being a little bit funny. So, like, I mean, I always smile when he says that line. Props to Kit for figuring out how to deliver that line.
One thing I remember about this scene is I had the t-shirt I was wearing. I'd been wearing it for the 2 days before on set, and I think they must have, like, it must have forgotten to be washed. And because Kit had to, like, nuzzle into my shoulder, I remember, like, it smelled so bad.
Oh,
and then Kit thought that
yeah.
I just hadn't showered
It
or hadn't
really
washed.
did. I didn't want to say it, but it did smell
And then
bad.
I was like to costume, I was like, is this t-shirt been washed?
Oh, no. Oh, God. Just the idea of, like, Kit politely not mentioning, like, Joe, you stink. See, I am so sensitive to smells that would, like, I would have had to say something. I would not have been able to just quietly deal with that as the person, like, as Kit. Putting my face into that, I would not have been able to do it. Because that's why he's a professional.
It's really quite offensive, the fact that he's walked into Charlie's room with his shoes on, soaking wet. He's just
Sat down on the bed.
Sat down on the bed.
I love that this is something that so many reactors have commented on. The fact that, like, Nick, soaking wet, walks into Charlie's room, sits down on his bed, drips all over the place. I mean, in the moment it makes sense because he's very upset, he's confused. Charlie definitely is not like, oh, let's get this hot boy I want to kiss out of my room. Like, he's obviously not thinking that. He doesn't care that Nick is drenched with rain. But yeah, it's not the nicest thing to do.
I really wanted to drop you in.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of surprised that there was not, like, an outtake of Kit just giving in to all his evilest impulses and just tossing Joe into the ocean. But then, you know, they would have had to wait for his clothes to dry, and it would have been a whole thing and, like, continuity. But it checks out that he was tempted.
Also, you can see the continuity difference because we only had like a couple pair of shorts, but no one notices, so that's good.
I don't know if you've watched any reactions to that scene, Kit, but people have noticed. I didn't expect them to have, like, endless pairs of jean shorts for Kit to change into, so that the waterline on his shorts would be consistent in this very emotional and memorable scene. So
Until now.
It's good. You know, now we can distract them in season 2.
I am happy to be distracted.
The water was quite cold, actually.
I didn't
I
go
think
in it, so.
the water was cold, but it was more just the thing of sort of getting out and being wet that was really uncomfortable. But I also just hate wearing jean shorts, and I have to wear a lot of jean shorts on this show. So getting those wet as well was just a mixture of
It's like chafing.
of discomfort.
See, now Kit talks about how the jean shorts were uncomfortable, being damp from the water, and I can understand that. But for me, it would be the squishy socks and shoes. It is very uncomfortable to have wet shoes. Like, I cannot put into words how uncomfortable having wet, squishy sneakers on is. So for me, that would be the issue. I can deal with, like, the jean shorts will dry fairly quickly, but those shoes are going to be wet for, like, a week.
Exactly that, Joe. It was a lovely experience that day.
And that's all. August 3rd, it's a-comin'. Alright, well. Yeah, so you know what I said about this video probably turning out to be 20 minutes long? We're now at 22:43, so I will probably trim it down a bit, but... Alright, well that's all I have to say. That's a lie, because I'm going to talk for another few minutes about random things, but... That's all I have to say about that. I really enjoyed watching that. I hope you guys did too. Let me know what your favorite parts were, or what your most iconic scenes from Heartstopper are. And yeah, let's chat about it as the wind blows the curtains and the color of my lighting changes multiple times per second. Thank you, as always, to our patrons, who are absolutely positively amazing. Special shout out to our Nick Nelson members, Kelly Walker, Paul Z, and Kent Smither. And a huge thank you to all of you as well for being here and watching and subscribing and liking and doing all the things that you do and commenting. And thank you to Benny for loudly scratching in the background. I know you can't hear it. I've heard from several commenters being like, look, Tom, you know, you always say like Darla and Benny are meowing or scratching in the background and we can never hear it. I realize that. But it's really loud on my end, so I have to comment on it. Sometimes the reason I'm commenting on it is just so you know why I'm distracted. So, but to be fair, I'm always distracted by something. Alright, well, you right there, you have a wonderful rest of your day, or night, or morning, or evening, or afternoon, or dusk, or dawn. And if you haven't, consider picking up a copy of my new queer YA book, Guardians, because I think it's pretty good, and I think you might like it. And if you don't, that's also fine. Yeah. Okay, so I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. I already said this, but I'm saying it again. I don't know how to end the video without saying things I've already said. Alright, bye.